Hey, what's going on? So I just watched the last episode of The Walking Dead and I wanted to take some time to talk about it because it's just so crazy that it's over. It's been on so long, since 2010. I remember someone telling me about it way back in 2009. This guy I used to work with at a video store, we used to talk about zombies all the time. And he was like, yeah, there's a Walking Dead show. And like we watched the trailer and it was just Rick getting in a car accident. And I didn't know if it would be good or not. And yeah, so the show has finally come to an end. And I kind of feel sad about it. I know they're making spin-off shows and like movies and stuff. I'm not sure if I'm gonna watch the spin-offs. Like I don't watch the spin-offs that already exist. I'm sure the movies will be better. They'll probably have higher budgets. That's what I don't like about the spin-offs. They seem very cheap. There's not as much like zombies on the screen. And speaking of zombies, that's why I like The Walking Dead, because it's some of the best zombies ever filmed. The only thing that could maybe top it, I think, is Day of the Dead. Those zombies look great. I love how The Walking Dead uses practical effects for the zombies. Sure, for like special effects, like headshots, they use CGI, and that's kind of goofy looking. But overall, the special effects in The Walking Dead are fantastic. Fantastic. This is going to be very scatterbrained. It's going to be all over the place. So yeah, I watched the final episode, and the final episode even, it's the last episode, it manages to be boring at points. It's boring in the beginning. It's kind of a little slow. There's some action in the middle. And then the last 20 minutes is just basically an epilogue. I believe this last season they did a good job of not just killing off characters because that's like, oh, it's The Walking Dead, you're supposed to kill characters. I think that got really old after a while. I especially hated when they killed Abraham. There's going to be spoilers in this video, just so you know. Yeah, I never thought it was like a good idea, like, oh, you know those characters you love? We're going to kill them. See you later, Glenn. Although I do believe Glenn's death kind of wasn't a big deal because like they already faked out his death. Like you already thought he was like a goner, but they brought him back just to kill him like a little bit later. So there's a bunch of stuff in The Walking Dead I just don't really understand. I know it's not real, but still, like for instance, how are there so many zombies 10 years into the apocalypse? Most of the people died off right away, and they either would have been killed as zombies or they would have like just rotted away to nothing by 10 years. And how do zombies walk around exactly? Like their muscles don't decay, they don't suffer from rigor mortis. They never really explain how that works at all. I just feel after being a zombie about 2 years or so, you just would totally be useless, like skeleton at that point. They do a good job in the later seasons. They show that the zombies are more like, you know, decrepit and skinny and just basically bones and stuff like that. I love on The Walking Dead how the zombies are like real zombies. They're slow, they're not running after people, they're not like super smart. They do gain like some intelligence in this last season, like they know how to use like weapons kind of, like they can use a rock to break a window or they can like pick up a knife. They like kind of remember from when they were alive. And I do think that's fine, and I'm actually surprised they didn't do that earlier in this season. Another thing I don't understand is what makes people turn into zombies exactly. Like, if you get bit, you automatically turn within a few days because I guess your wound is infected. But like, what if you cleaned it out immediately? Immediately you poured rubbing alcohol on the wound. That wouldn't clear it up. But like, you always see people like, you know, attacking zombies and like the blood splatters in their face. But it's never mentioned that blood in the eyeball would turn you into a zombie. So I'm not exactly sure how to feel about that. Also, there's an early episode where there's a zombie in the well, and obviously they don't want to drink that water of zombie juice. But what about all the zombies who die in like a big lake that's like their water supply? Would enough dead zombies be enough to poison them and make it so like you can't drink that water anymore or you're going to turn from that? Also, they don't really mention electricity. Sometimes they have it, sometimes they don't. They don't really mention where it comes from and how they maintain it. But yes, sometimes things run on electricity, sometimes they don't have electricity. And another pet peeve of mine, this is very silly, but like the zombies always react to noise. So if a person is walking around, the zombie will be like, oh, and they'll go chasing after them. But there's constantly noise because they go in herds. So the other zombies are constantly making noise, but you never see the zombie be distracted by another zombie, and it just kind of doesn't make sense. Like in reality, a zombie would be like, I heard a noise. Ooh, a noise over here. Ooh, a noise over here. And just like never be able to concentrate on any one thing. I'm just pointing these things out for fun. I love the show. I've watched every single episode. And like I said, it was a lifetime ago. And like since then, the show like was very popular. Like I would say up until about season 5 or so, it kind of got a little less popular. But it was crazy how popular it was. Around that time, I was living in New York, and I would go to this bar, and there would be like Walking Dead watch parties. And it was a lot of fun. It was cool. I do have to say, though, there's a lot of filler in this show. There's 147 episodes. That's over 100 hours. And some episodes altogether are kind of pointless, aren't needed. I would love to see a fan edit that just takes like the best 50 hours, and that's what it is. That's the new series, and I could watch through that again. Because I don't know if I would watch through the whole series from start to finish. I have seen every episode, and I think I've seen every episode twice of season 1 through 4. Something else I didn't like about the show, and I always thought was so silly, is that when a character would die off, and not because it made sense for the story, but because the actor playing that character didn't want to be on the show anymore. He didn't get killed off, but the silliest thing is that Rick was kidnapped off the show. He was on a bridge that blew up, and everyone just thought he was dead, but nope, he was kidnapped. That way it was a convenient excuse for him to not be there anymore. These are spoilers. I already warned you, spoilers. They kill off Carl. I thought that was really silly. One of the coolest things they did in the show, at one point they jumped 10 years ahead. So the infant daughter Judith goes from being tiny to being like 9 or 10 years old. And I thought that was awesome. That was a really cool part of the show. And it would have been even funnier if, Carl was still alive and they got a new actor to play Carl, and he was just like this like rugged badass. I know it would kind of be mean to the actor who played young Carl, but I also think it would be funny. I even think they killed off Shane way too early back in season 1 or season 2, whenever that was. They could have kept that going a little bit longer, I feel. At the end of the series finale, they showed Jesus, and I forgot that he existed. His introduction episode I thought was so awesome. He was a great character. He was maybe my second favorite character besides Abraham. Eugene was really cool too, but he kind of outstayed his welcome a little bit. Like, I still liked him. He was still very funny, the funniest character on the show by far. But I wasn't as invested in his character by the end. And I'm so surprised that Father Gabriel made it all the way. He kind of outstayed his welcome a little bit. I really didn't think he would last the whole time. So yeah, there's a major character death in this last episode, because of course, that's what they do. They have to do it. They can't help themselves. And it was sad. It would have been cool if it was just like, yeah, this is the last season of The Walking Dead. We're just gonna all be ass kickers, and that's that. So yeah, I just wanted to make a video about The Walking Dead. I'm gonna put this on my main YouTube channel, I think. I'm kind of conflicted because I think a lot of people tuning into my channel, they probably don't even care about The Walking Dead. So then a video pops up that they don't like, and they might be like, why is the flea market guy talking about this? But I do think other people do want to see that type of video. So let me know in the comments. Also, if you want to help me out, you can join my Patreon page. A lot of times that's where videos like this go. They go straight to my Patreon. And yeah, that would help me out if you wanted to do that. But that's it for this video. I'll see you next time.